Y'all, y'all are ready to see somebody, aren't you? We're getting there. We're getting there. Thank you. Please welcome the former Lieutenant Governor of the state of Florida, Ms. Jennifer Carroll.
Are we getting ready to rock and roll? This is Duval. All right. For 2 major election cycles, we have been fed a bag of no good. The candidates ran on being staunch conservatives. They wanted to defeat Obama's policy, yet they got into office and ignored the will of the people, and now they are in a tantrum because they're not getting their way. Many of these same politicians lied and told you what you wanted to hear, and after they got elected, forgot that you existed until the next election. All those but Ted Yoho. He's coming up next. Donald Trump at least is honest, even if it means getting in trouble with the press. Like it or not, you must admit a politician that is truthful and loyal to the people is refreshing. It may be centuries before we can see this level of honesty and chutzpah in a politician ever again. The ruling political elite class wants to scare you by saying that they will vote for Hillary. To them, I say, go right ahead. It's a free country. You don't have to say what you're going to do. Just go ahead and doggone do it. Who cares? But for every one of them, we're going to get 10-fold more Democrats coming over to vote for Mr. Trump. For many years, we've been told by party leaders that we have a big tent and there's room for all demographics, and that they're embracing diversity and want to see our party grow by this expansion of inclusion. Well, we have a candidate that have excited voters to cross over, voters from all demographics, as well as bringing back disaffected voters who switched from independent because they were fed up with both parties. And Mr. Trump has had an appeal in states that were once off limits to Republicans to expect to compete. Then why isn't this resurgent by Mr. Trump not embraced by the ruling class? I keep hearing from the pundits that Mr. Trump has no blacks and women supporting him. Well, the last time I checked, I was black, and I'm still a woman, and I support Donald Trump for president. My parents and I legally immigrated to this country because America was a place of opportunities, liberty and freedom and prosperity. When we arrived in Brooklyn, New York, my parents assimilated into this country. They did not expect to sponge off of it. My parents worked hard, even having 2 jobs at times to take care of their family and helping others. Like many Caribbeans and other immigrants, we support Mr. Trump. I am a wife of 32 years to a 27-year Air Force veteran. And a mother of 3 children that went through the public schools, graduated from college, and are good community stewards, and they're black, and we're all supporting Mr. Trump. This country gave me the opportunity to serve even during the Gulf War in the United States Navy for 20 years, starting out as an enlisted jet mechanic. and retiring as a Navy Lieutenant Commander Aviation Maintenance Officer. I served as the Florida Executive Director of Florida Department of Veterans Affairs, and I've seen the erosion of our military and a lack of quality service for our veterans, and we need Mr. Trump, who is passionate, Marine Sergeant. I did not see a whole bunch of politicians flocking to help Greta in this quest. As a matter of fact, Greta said that she could not even get President Obama to make a phone call to help Sergeant Tamarisi. And where was Hillary? She was MIA, missing in action. Yet, this civilian, Mr. Trump, quietly, without any fanfare and without any public attention, gave Marine Sergeant Tamarisi money to jumpstart his life after he was released from the Mexican prison. This unselfishness shows the character of Mr. Trump, the man. John Wooden once said, the true test of a man's character is what he does when no one is watching. If Mr. Trump has this level of compassion and demonstration of leadership to do what's right when no one is looking, can you imagine the kind of public leader he will be as our president? He will put the hammer down and make the right decisions to truly support our military and our veterans. Now listen to this. Donald Trump is the only Republican candidate in recent presidential elections to address head-on black crime and poverty in this country. In Chicago, so far this year, 381 people have been killed, 2,394 people shot. Just in July, 65 killed in Chicago, yet this violent epidemic is ignored. Black home ownership, which a home is usually many people's largest assets, down. Drastically down. Income for black families, down. Blacks on food stamps at an all-time level high. And candidates want to come by with their black twang, saying that they feel the pain and can empathize with you because they carry pepper sauce in their pocketbook. Well, the black community's social ills cannot be healed by somebody demonstrating that they feel their pain. Mr. Trump understands that an economic opportunity is the way out of poverty. He understands that for Americans, a job is what's needed and not another government bailout under the disguise of a code word, government programs. The last government program, the stimulus, which gave us wasteful spending, gave money to the banks, which they refused to loan to small businesses and hoarded the money. Companies like Sorinda received $535 million of your taxpayer dollars, and they went belly up. They went out of business. At that same time, we had 311 million people living in this country. Had President Obama and the Congress had given each person $1 million, you could have paid off your mortgage, your car note, paid for your kids' education, go on vacation, and the government still would have had money left over and not be $19 trillion in debt. That is not smart government. We are tired of the business-as-usual politicians who don't want their gravy train stopped. This is selfish behavior. These business-as-usual status quo politicians and those who have been around for 20 or 30 years milking off of your tax dollars, enriching themselves and talking about that they want a chance of being the president to fix this country, let's tell them that they're fired. In surveys, voters say that they want an outsider. Well, here's Mr. Trump. Voters say they want someone to work for them and do what they are elected to do. Well, here's Mr. Trump. Voters say they want someone to tell them like it is and fight for them. Well, here's Mr. Trump. Voters say they do not trust Washington, D.C., and they want the good old boy insider establishment blown up. Well, here's Mr. Trump. Voters say they want somebody who will put them first, honor country, and make it great so they can earn and save for their families. Well, here is Mr. Trump. No one has a crystal ball that can tell you emphatically what the future holds, but I know who holds the future. And I pray that our Lord and Savior will guide Mr. Trump to do what's right and just for women, children, our military, our veterans, and create opportunities for all Americans to prosper. Let's elect Donald Trump to bring this country back to the level of greatness we expect and demand. I am asking each and every one of you to commit to bringing 5 other people to the polls with you to do their very best to elect Donald Trump so we can work with him to make America great again. God bless you, and God continue to bless this great land of America.
We're getting closer. I feel the energy. Please welcome Congressman Ted Yoho.
Hello, America. How you doing? How's Jacksonville doing? How you guys doing back here? Are you guys fired up? I thought so. My name's Ted Yoho. I'm a U.S. Congressman. I'm in my 3rd year, and I'm a veterinarian by trade. For a large animal veterinarian by trade. I'm a Christian conservative family man. I am a member of the NRA, and I do have a carry permit. I don't know if Mrs. Clinton can say those things. But I ran against a 24-year incumbent, and I had no political experience. Does that sound like anybody else? You know what they told me? You can't do it. You can't win. You don't have the experience, but we proved them wrong because of people like you, the grassroots movement that got out there and got out and voted and did things that the political establishment wasn't used to seeing. And so we're going to do it again, right? The reason I ran is because people said that the people in Washington, the career politicians, were the ones with the wisdom and the knowledge, and they knew how to fix things. Did you guys believe that? And so what I said, well, wait a minute. Let's think about this. The people with the wisdom and the knowledge that have been there for 20 years or 24 years or longer either led us to where we were at or they failed to prevent it. Do you want to send them back? Heck no, or something like that, right? And so we got elected, and we ran against John Boehner, voted against him my first year, ran against him the second year, and we changed the political dynamics up there because people like you sent people like me up there, and we were not going to. And then I went to the convention 2 weeks ago, and I was on Alan Combs, and he said, come on, he's got a family, he's got to have a job, he's got to be. But he goes, well, Mr. Trump has no experience. Mr. Trump can't win. I says, Alan, let's think about this. Donald Trump ran against a field of 16 polished, highly skilled politicians, and the American people put him at top, so I think he's going to do just fine. We have started a movement You have started a movement and made it possible. The alignment in our life is God, country, and family. And we need to remind them in the establishment. When I was up at the RNC convention, a lot of the establishment was sitting in this back room, and when Mr. Trump came out, my wife and I and one of our teammates was with us, and we were clapping when he was saying stuff, "Make America Great Again," and doing the stuff that Donald does. And it was great because we're clapping, and the establishment they were confused. They still don't get it, but we're going to change that. We're going to unite the Republican Party. We're going to come together, and we're going to send the next president of the United States. And I got one of his hats here. And on the back of this hat, not only does it have an American flag, but if you look inside, made in America. USA. And I'm going to take you back to 8 years ago when Hillary Clinton ran that commercial against Barack Obama. And it's 3 o'clock in the morning. And the phone rings, the red phone rings. Who do you want answering that? I can sure in the heck tell you who I don't want answering it. And I was there that day. Hillary Clinton came to I sit on the Foreign Affairs meeting, and when I was talking about Benghazi, and she goes, "What difference does it make?" They can hear that on her next campaign speech. Miss Clinton, I'll tell you what difference it makes. There's 4 American families that will not see their loved ones come home. There's 4 American mothers, fathers, brothers, children who will not see their loved one come home. That's what difference it makes. And I can tell you what, our enemies, our allies don't know if they can trust or depend on us. And our enemies don't know, they don't fear or respect us. And I really don't care if they fear us. But I want them to understand that when America says something, America means what it says, and it'll back it up. And I'm going to end. And I'm going to end with this. At that convention, I had the opportunity to talk to about 80 ambassadors. A lot of them were from the NATO countries. And you heard Mr. Trump talk about we have to redefine NATO. We have to get it back on track. And when we were at that ambassador meeting, I had ambassadors from the NATO's countries come up to me and say, "You know what, we've been bad paying our dues for NATO. And we've paid them in arrears, and we've caught up." And the other ones were saying, "We put 2% into our budget, and we're going to make sure we're good standing with you," because they knew there's a new sheriff in town, and that guy is going to be Mr. Donald Trump. You guys are going to send him there. God bless you all.
All right. I am wrapping up my duties as MC, which means you're really close to what you came here to see tonight. I want to share just a few brief comments with you. Abraham Lincoln, many years ago, said, "United we stand, divided we fall." Those words were true then, and they're true today. Now more than ever. I spent many years before I was elected mayor in Republican Party politics doing everything that I could to unite people, to unite Republicans, Democrats, and independents around conservative philosophy, because it works. It works. And I got to realize some of that effort to unite people when many of you in this room elected me mayor just over a year ago. I came in as an outsider and promised to flip the status quo upside down. And that is exactly what we're doing right here in Jacksonville, Florida. Yes on one. It would be irresponsible not to remind you that on August 30th, we are flipping the status quo upside down. We're going to fix our pension liabilities and pension problems that politicians created and were afraid to solve. So I'm asking you, vote yes on county referendum number 1, August 30th, and we'll solve it once and for all. Donald Trump will flip the status quo upside down. And that is why you're here tonight. Your voice has been heard. It's been good to be your MC. In a real short time, you're going to get what you came for. Thank you.
Tell me you're coming.
Can I bum a ride? Anywhere you're gone is fine, as long as it's out of town. I could even fill your tank.
I know you are ready to elect the next president of the United States of America. Woo! Listen, I'm so excited to be back here in the great state of Florida, and I am tired up to here, Florida. I'm tired. I'm very tired today because the liberal media is going to continue to do whatever they can to discredit and to hurt Donald Trump, the president. Everything he does, they try to nitpick and break it and take it apart. We had the lieutenant colonel to honor Donald Trump with a Purple Heart to show that there's some real veterans who are ready for a real leader to become the next president of the United States of America. Real leaders. Because they understand that when Donald Trump becomes the next president, we're going to have a real military that's going to take ISIS out forever. Shall never ever will we allow the liberal media to dictate our way of life and our opinion of a great man like Donald Trump. Never. And I just want to thank our men in blue who protect our lives on a daily basis. Come on, America. Come on, America. Come on, Florida. Let them know you love them. Let them know. Let them know. Let them know you support them. Let them know that you got their back. Because USA. Because we live in the greatest country in the world. We live in the strongest country in the world. And I don't care what the liberal, race-baiting Democrats try to make you to believe, but we are strong. We are united. We are fearless. We will destroy any attack that tries to come on our grounds. And you know why? Because we are the United States. And those liberal, race-baiting Democrats and that crooked Hillary Clinton, who don't belong in the White House, but she belongs in jail. Lock her up! Lock her up! Lock her up! Yeah, because I want to tell Hillary Clinton, to all the media that's watching now, and to everybody, and I hope Hillary Clinton is watching right now, because we're going to let her know we're not going to ever forget it. The email scandal, Benghazi, we're not going to let it go. You belong in jail. Lock her up. And I want to say this, because the liberal media and Democrats will consistently, completely keep using race as a reason to keep us divided and not united. And to the Black Lives Matter movement, I said it at the RNC, and I'm going to say it here in Florida, that not just Black Lives Matter, but all, not all lives matter. All lives, let them know. Let them know what all lives matter. Because Hillary understands that if she can keep us focusing on the colors that divide us, and that's the real problem, because black folks been voting for Democrats for over 50 years, and we're still broke as a people. We're still weak as a people. We are not strong, and I don't care what nobody else says, but I know that because we're the United States of America, that when one race is weak, we are all weak. We're all weak. And I don't care, because I said it before, I'm from the South. I know what real racism is. And it's not Donald Trump. It's not Donald Trump. It's not Donald Trump. We got great Americans here in Florida. We got great Americans here that says, I am tired of being labeled a racist simply because I'm proud to be an American. USA! me how the race-baiting liberal Democrats will continue to try to change our way of life. They're trying to attack us because we love marriage, we love family, and we love babies. We love babies. We love those unborn babies. Those babies gotta live. Y'all not talking to me, Florida. The babies gotta live. They gotta have a voice. We gotta get rid of abortion, and we gotta stand behind those millions of unborn babies who need to have a chance to experience the great country of the United States of America. Woo! They hate us. They hate us. The Democrats, they despise us because it's okay to be bold in your faith. It's okay. And aren't you glad we elected a man in Donald Trump who believes in the name of Jesus Christ? Because he believes he's a man of faith. He's a man that understands the great principles that made us a great country is being allowed to be able to practice our faith and to practice it without some race-baiting liberal Democrat trying to stop us from loving the God that raised us from the ashes. And we will always overcome. I said everywhere, and I want everybody to know that Donald Trump is watching you live right now on rsbn.tv. Y'all better let him know you're ready for him, Florida. Let him know, Florida. Let him know. Jump, jump. I say it everywhere I go, that despite the color you were born with, here in America, the only colors that matter are the colors of the red, white. God bless you, Florida. I ask you to help me elect the next president of the United States of America, Donald J. Shout, Trump, Trump, Trump. Trump, Trump. I'm Pastor Mark Burns. I love you. God bless you, Florida. It's out of town. I could even feel
your tank as a way that I can say thanks. I'm feeling kinda down. We can talk about anything that you want to, except one thing, mister, I'm begging you. Don't talk about Texas or Amarillo skies. Don't talk about Houston or them Austin City nights. Don't talk about Galveston or sweet, sweet Abilene. Don't talk about Texas. That's where she said goodbye to me.
And here's why. Because for more than 7 years, we have watched our debt go to $19.2 trillion, more than any other U.S. president combined. Thanks, Obama. Can you believe that? $19.2 trillion. And for more than 7 years, we've seen our friends in the world question our commitment and our enemies challenge our resolve. For more than 7 years, we've seen the EPA's overreach. And more recently, as you know what I do for a living, what a disaster Obamacare has been. I just want to tell you that the Washington, D.C. train wreck is coming to a reckoning. Because they are about to come face to face with a leader who doesn't trade in politics and who excels at winning. Because America is about to be known as Trump country. I know Donald. Donald's a friend. I can tell you firsthand how he treats his family, how he interacts with Ivanka, with his sons. Donald Trump loves his family and he loves his country. That's why he's running for president. I see the way he treats his employees, his co-workers, he calls them. They'll say, Mr. Trump, can I get you something to drink by the water cooler? And he'll say to her, no, I'm standing up, let me get it for you. That's the Donald Trump that I know. I cannot have a conversation with Donald without him asking, Pam, how's your mom? How's your mom doing? Tell your mom I miss her. That's the Donald Trump that I know. The Donald Trump that I know believes in our law enforcement, our first responders, and all the men and women who wear the uniform to keep us safe. He will not settle for America being second best. And he will secure our borders, which is important to me because I'm sick of the influx of cocaine and heroin. Let me tell you, as your Attorney General, the amount of cocaine and heroin flowing into our country, into our state, is ridiculous. And Donald Trump is going to do everything he can to stop it. And if there is is one reason, I think you all know that I've sued the president several times throughout my career, along with the Republican Attorneys General. I was chairman of the Republican Attorneys General Association last year. And if you need to tell anyone why they must vote for Donald Trump, I have two words: Supreme Court. Please listen, this will not only affect us, children, grandchildren, this is going to affect us for decades to come if that court is stacked with liberal activists. And one thing we know, Hillary Clinton will do that. And we are positive, we know who Donald Trump will put on the Supreme Court. Conservative justices who respect the rule of law. So after more than 7 years of Washington being paralyzed by politics, Independence Day is going to come early this year. Actually, next year, on January, on a wintry day in Washington, D.C., when Donald J. Trump stands up and is sworn in as President of the United States of America. Thank you. God bless you. God bless the Trump family for putting themselves out there, and God bless America. Thank you.
She fell in love with me on that Corpus Christi beach. It felt so right. And I remember how her green eyes used to shine, and a taste on her sweet lips was like cherry wine. We can talk about any state that we've been through, except the one where I hitched this ride with you. Don't talk about Texas or Amarillo skies. Don't talk about Houston or them Austin city lights. Don't talk about Galveston or sweet, sweet Abilene. Don't talk about Texas. That's where she said goodbye to me. Someday I might just go back and find the best love this cowboy ever had. Yeah, don't talk about Texas or Amarillo skies. Don't talk about Houston or them Austin city lights. Don't talk about Galveston or sweet, sweet Abilene. About Texas. So don't you talk about Texas or Amarillo skies. Don't talk about Houston or them Austin city lights. Don't talk about Galveston or sweet, sweet Abilene. Don't talk about Texas. That's where she said goodbye to me. That's when she said goodbye to me. Yeah. ups and downs. The bad outweighed the good. We had tried to work it out. Hell, I wondered if we could. Now I'm feeling lost and so alone. Yeah, I'm bleeding, spinning way out of control. Well, you say you need your time, that you need your space. Oh, baby, I don't understand. All I got to say is, what about me? What about us? What about life, baby? What about love? What about all our hopes, our plans, and all our dreams? Yeah. What about me? Yeah, I'm drinking. All the rumors are true, really sinking in a broken heart of blue. Well, you told me you still love me, but girl, how could it be? If you still want your freedom, then you ain't wanting me. So what about me? What about us? What about life, baby? What about love? What about all our hopes, our plans, and all our dreams? What about me? You say you're gonna go my way. Goodbye, goodbye, baby. Don't you worry about all these tears I've cried. These conversations with an open bottle of wine let me know that today I'll be alright. 'Cause we've tried to work it out. Too bad we never could. We had our ups and downs. Now you're gone for good. So what about me? What about us? What about life, baby? What about love? What about all our hopes, our plans, and all our dreams? What about me? What about us? What about life, baby? What about There she is alone again in the corner, sipping on a glass of house red wine. As the band begins to play, she's grooving, letting music fill her soul. Nobody knows why she dances alone. No, nobody knows what she's running from. You can ask her to dance if you wanna, but you smile and just say no. Nobody knows why she dances alone. There's a million things that it could be, from broken hearts to broken dreams. To tell you the truth, your guess is as good as mine. Nobody knows why she dances alone. No, nobody knows. Is there something at home? Nobody knows why she dances alone. No, nobody knows what she's running from. You can ask her to dance if you want, but you smile and just say no. Nobody knows why she dances alone. Nobody knows why she dances alone. Said nobody knows.
say. We're gonna fill this country with work again. We're gonna bring those jobs back for good again. We gotta make those deals in a better way and keep prosperity here to stay. And now the trains are rolling, all of that self-loathing's gonna fade. So you better climb aboard, 'cause that engine's gonna roar on down the rail. We're gonna make this land of ours one again. We're gonna make this nation happy again. People have the power, so let's act that way
Absolutely. You know, I'm going to just tell you one quick story. My grandfather, who served in World War I and World War II, and he retired as a senior master chief out of the United States Navy, he retired right here in Jacksonville. God rest his soul, but he's a great American, and he loved this country. So there's a couple of things. I'm going to just be very brief. You're hearing in the media today about some type of intervention that's going on in the Trump campaign. The intervention is the intervention by the American people against Washington, D.C. That's what the intervention is. And I hate to have my backs to people, but thank you so much. You guys have the best view in town right here. Okay, two groups that I always like to highlight are our law enforcement professionals, our police officers. And the second are our great men and women in uniform and our veterans. So without further ado, because I know it's long here, and you really came here to hear the next president of the United States, Donald Trump. I don't want to talk too much about the enemy camp in Hillary Clinton, but boy, is she unbelievable, huh? Wow, that's right. She lied again. Yeah, she lied again this past Sunday on TV. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Okay, folks, so here you have it, the next president of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump. I wish the press would report the crowd like it is. Okay? And you've got thousands of people outside trying to get in, and they can't get in. This is one hell of a big stadium, I'll tell you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's a great honor. Jacksonville, great place. How's your football team going to be? Good, good? I think so. I hear good things. I hear good things. So I want to start by saying that early this morning, I turned on the television and I saw that our country took $400 million in cash, but different currencies, different places, different representatives representing those places, took $400 million, put it in airplanes, and flew it over to Iran. And folks, how stupid are we? How stupid are we? What's going on in this country How stupid are we? And then you say, I wonder what happens with that $400 million. I wonder who ends up getting it, right? I wonder who ends up getting it. So sad. And people tried to stop it, and a lot of people, you just wonder who's making decisions like this where you take $400 million, they put it in small containers, and probably pretty large containers actually, and they bring it over to Iran. And you say, who's making these decisions? Whose decision is that? That's all emanating from one of the worst deals ever made in this country, the deal we made with Iran, and that probably was hostage money to get hostages out for $400 million because it was exact timing. Our leaders are incompetent. And that's why we have these crowds. That's why we have these crowds. That's why we fill up the stadiums, no matter where we go. It's this way. We have unbelievable people in our country. We have great, great people in our country. And you see things like that. You see a deal. By the way, speaking of great people, speaking of our best people, we have, and I just visited with some incredible folks. I have no idea where they're sitting, but I know they have a good location. Some really amazing gold star families. Where are they? Where are they? Where are they sitting? Huh? Ooh, you're one. Beautiful. Where are they? There they are. Incredible people. Incredible people. We have amazing people in our country. We have amazing leaders. By the way, General Flynn, how great is he? That's the guy we want. First time I saw him, I met him at a ballroom. They were honoring a certain person. Never changes. It's getting better because Bernie's not here. Nobody has any spirit for Hillary. Yeah. Nobody has any spirit for Hillary. Nobody. But General Flynn, I met him at a ballroom because somebody was being honored. You know who it was? It was me. And from the day I met him, I was impressed. He's tough, he's smart, he's great. And we're going to get people like that very actively involved with us. Very actively involved. So I want to thank General Flynn for being here. So this is the way we wake up in the morning, and every day it's something else. And it goes to show what's happening with our country. We're not going to let it happen anymore. We're going to get elected November 8th. Remember that. November 8th. November 8th. And this is going to be a very important night. You know, we're here together. It's a family. It's a family. And you know what it is? It's a movement. This is a movement. There's never been anything like this. And it's a movement against a lot of things. Our biggest obstacle is the press. They're so dishonest. They are, no, totally dishonest. These are really bad people. Let me just, I give you an example. And I have to say, our campaign is doing so nicely. We are running so smooth. We have some of the finest people in our campaign. They are doing great. Look, here's what I just was handed 2 minutes ago. Dishonest liberal media, CNN's New Day, covered anti-Trump stories, 200, of which there really shouldn't be any, okay? Give me a... You know, yesterday, speaking of it, a great gentleman, a great gentleman, met me backstage in Virginia. We were in Virginia. Same thing, sold out, packed house. We had to send 5,000 people outside, couldn't get in. And this gentleman, an amazing guy, came to see me backstage. And he presented me with, right, the Purple Heart. The Purple Heart. And an amazing man. And he said, Mr. Trump, I want you to have this. I said, but is it yours or is it a duplicate or you're not giving me? He said, I want you to have it. You're the one to lead this country. I want you to have this. Amazing. And Lieutenant Colonel, he's a Lieutenant Colonel, an amazing guy. And I took it and I said, I can't believe this. It's really one of the most beautiful things that I've ever received. And from the heart, so much from the heart. So much from the heart. And then the next day I see where the media is saying, it's a replica, it's this, it's that. And it turned out his son was with him, who was a wonderful young guy, and his son was with him. And his son called, and he was absolutely so upset that those things were said, false stories, that they were said. And actually, ABC, Tom Lamas is probably back here someplace, but he covered it very nicely. And he spoke, and they talked about it. And it actually was his heart. I mean, you know, it's what it is. His Purple Heart. And I just want to tell you, it was so beautiful. And you know how it gets cheapened by the media so much. They cheapen things. They cheapen things. If they're on the other side, they just cheapen things, and it's so sad to see. And just a little while ago, I met with the Gold Star families. I met with 6 families that were just like incredible people. And a gentleman handed me a check, and he said, you know, Mr. Trump, this is for your campaign. And I said, you don't have to do that. He goes, I do. He said, it's more money, and I haven't even opened it yet. I don't think I'll tell you how much it is, actually, but he said, it's more money. Wow. He said, it's more money that than we can afford. But I want you to have it for your campaign. And I mean, I think it's incredible. Where is he? Where is he? Where are those families? Where are they? Where are those families? Does anyone know? They're incredible. And I just thought it was amazing. And the love in that room for this country is beyond belief, believe me. Gold Star families, the love in that room was so incredible. So, you know, it's been an amazing period of time for me. The people of this country are so incredible. Now what we need is leadership. Okay? Now what we need is leadership. So listen, dishonest liberal media, CNN's New Day covered anti-Trump stories, of which, honestly, they're mostly false, okay? It's like the commercials. You ever see these negative ads? Crooked Hillary's done hundreds of millions of dollars of commercials. We haven't started yet. I think I've spent $0, and we're doing nicely. We just had a poll where we're up in North Carolina. We had another one, we're up in Florida. You know Florida, right? Okay. We're doing nice. I haven't spent any money. And we just took in this month, I think it's $80 or $82 million, and a lot of it is in small money. I'm spending a lot for my own campaign. We're raising a lot of money for the Republican Party, and the money is coming in. We're just doing great. But small contributions, I think it was $61 each. And few Republicans can do that. Maybe no Republican can do that. Because people want to see great things happen for our country. They're so invested and so in love in our country, with our country. So, but we have a problem with the media. CNN's New Day, and I'm not just talking about CNN, they're all bad. Honestly, they're all bad. I don't know what it is. Is it like inferiority complex? They are so bad. It's other things. It's other things. I actually pretty much know. CNN's New Day covered anti-Trump stories 200 times more than the Iran story today, according to the Media Research Center, which is respected, I think. Who knows? Who knows? 200 times. So we're talking about 400. You know, they cover me constantly, story after story after story. Mostly bad. You know, mostly bad. What would they do if I wasn't involved in this campaign? You wouldn't cover Hillary very much. That's boring, okay? That's very boring. Okay. So we have a problem. What you know what you have to do with the media? You have to bull your way through it. You just bull through it. And you do the best you can. And I actually said, with the horrible misrepresentation that's given me by the media. I mean, the New York Times is disgusting. The good news is it's failing. It'll be out of business within 3 years. That's the good news, okay? It's failing badly. But, you know, my whole life I've had like probably 5 or 6 stories on the front page of the New York Times. Now I have like 2 a day. It's terrible. Well, it shows you that politics is more important than real estate, right? But we have to bull through it. And the amazing, look at this arena. If I would read my press, the phony press, the lying reporters, the disgusting people that work for the media, if I would read it, I'll tell you how many people. We have 16,000 people right now, and we have thousands outside. If I would read my press, you know what I'd say? I'd say we wouldn't have 40 or 50 people here. I really mean it. How do all these people? You know why? Because the people are smart. The people are smart. True. So true. So I just think it's like an amazing thing. We're on a journey together. It's a journey like has never taken place in this country, actually. They say, what do I know? That's what they say. They say a number, Bill O'Reilly, a number, large number of those people, even if they dislike Trump, which they all do just about, but a large number of them said this is the single greatest political phenomena they've ever seen in their lifetime. So, thank you. Amazing. Amazing. So we're going to do a lot of things for this country. We're going to bring back our jobs to start off with. You know, this area has been devastated by your manufacturing jobs moving to Mexico and other places, all right? Not going to happen, folks. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Some company wants to move to Mexico. We wish them a lot of luck. When they make their product and they want to sell it back into your area, into Jacksonville or anywhere else in the United States, they're going to pay a 35% tax to get the product back into this country. Okay? Not going to happen anymore, folks. I have a lot of friends that live in Jacksonville. I know why. I know why. I know why. So, you look at what's going on with our government. You look at the way our leaders are controlled by special interests. Our leaders are controlled by lobbyists. They get a lot of money. I mean, I've hired some over the years, in all fairness. They do a very good job. But our leaders are controlled. So when it comes to trade, if you want to have a company and you want to keep the company from moving to another country, like Mexico, then let me tell you what happens. You go out, you hire your lobbyists, you work with the special interest. The politician has no chance. They keep them. They do whatever their lobbyists, they do whatever their donors, they do whatever their special interests want. And that's part of the beauty of what I'm doing. So I've spent, I guess, more than $60 million so far. Now, that sounds like a lot, but it's a lot less than other guys have spent, and they came in 7th place, okay? It's like, well, maybe I watch it because it's my money as opposed to, but it's like, who would you rather have representing you? The guy that spent the least and comes out first, or the person that spends the most and comes out last? Who would you rather? I don't know. I don't know. I think I know the answer. So, if you look at your area, you need the one that comes out first. Hillary, by the way, her husband signed NAFTA, the single worst deal, maybe in the history of trade, but certainly in this country. Okay? Bill Clinton signed NAFTA. He cleaned you out. He cleaned New England out. He cleaned New York State out. He cleaned Ohio. You got to see Ohio, parts of Ohio. And by the way, we're going to take care of our miners. We're going to take care of our steel workers. We're going to take care of people that want to work, and they want to work where they want to work. We're going to have an amazing thing happen on November 8th. You know, so Brexit, when you probably saw what happened. So I called it right. I got 0 credit, but that's okay. Everybody was saying, oh, they'll never break up the UK. They'll never break up. They're never going to leave, right? They're never going to leave. The UK will never, ever leave. Well, guess what? You know what happened? They left. They left. And I think the gambling odds were 20%. And they came up and they asked me, what do you think is going to happen? They're going to leave. Everyone said, why are you so sure? Because people don't want to be forced to take all these people in. You have the people coming from Syria. You have people from... Look at Germany. Look at what's happened to Germany. It's a total and complete disaster. Okay? A complete disaster. You look at what's going on in France. A friend of mine, I hate to say this, I like France, but a friend of mine goes to France every year. Said, how was France this year? He said, France is no longer France. I don't go there anymore. It's no longer France. That's no longer France. City of Lights. No longer France, folks. So Hillary Clinton wants to bring people in by the tens of thousands into our country that we don't know who they are, where they come from. Not going to happen. Not going to happen, folks. It's not going to happen. We have enough problems. Soon we're going to be at $20 trillion in debt. Our debt has doubled under Barack Obama, who is grossly incompetent, who is a terrible president, and he is grossly incompetent. He doesn't know what the hell he's doing. Obama will not use the term radical Islamic terrorism. He won't use the term. He'll give a speech that lasts for a half an hour explaining why he shouldn't use the term. In the meantime, when I met with those incredible families backstage, they want that term used, and they want to wipe out the problem because we have a big, fat, horrible problem, and we're going to knock it out. So, we're going to knock it out, folks. You know, if you don't name what the problem is, if you're afraid to say what the problem is, if you don't want to talk about the problem, like Crooked Hillary, she said, well, you know, I forced her to sort of say this, but she hasn't used it yet. She said she would do it. She would do it. Well, so far she hasn't. But, folks, if you're unwilling to talk about the problem, you're never going to solve your problem. And believe me, that's the real deal. That's not the JV, like he said. That's the real deal. And you know, when we fight our wars, we were talking about this backstage, we fight our wars in a very politically correct way. Okay? Nice and easy. We have some incredible warriors like General Flynn. We have some incredible warriors who could get this problem taken care of, and fast. But we don't do what we have to do. We don't do what we have to do. And we're going to make our country safe again, and we're going to make our country great again, and we're going to have law and order. And we're going to respect our police, because you have to respect our police. We're not going to shoot our police. We're not shooting our police. It's never been so dangerous to be a policeman or woman. It's never been so dangerous. When you look at Dallas, when you look at all of the different places. 2 weeks ago in my speech, I named all these different cities where police people have been killed. Policemen, policewomen, they have been killed. Viciously, brutally killed. And the reason they were killed, they're doing their job. It's going to stop, okay? It's going to stop. We're going to be law and order. It's going to stop. And the police are going to be careful. They're going to be careful. We don't want to have problems. We don't want to do something wrong. Whether it's a mistake or you have somebody that has a really deep-seated hatred, which happens. You know, the biggest problem that we have, the police will do 100,000 unbelievable things. Nobody talks about it. If there's one mistake, whether it's intended or not intended, one mistake, that mistake is broadcast on the newscasts for weeks. And we can't make those mistakes. We can't make those mistakes, and we're not going to make those mistakes. But our police, we have to cherish our police. We wouldn't be here tonight without our police. Wouldn't be here tonight. And I will tell you, they and others, you know, I put the firemen, I'll tell you, there's groups, teachers, so important, teachers, so important, not recognized like they should be recognized. And by the way, speaking of teachers, we're going to get rid of Common Core, we're going to bring our education local. Bring our education local. You know, the United States, out of the top 30 countries, the United States is just about last in education, right? And we're first in spending. And not only are we first, but we're first by a lot. Second doesn't even exist. We spend so much more per pupil than anybody else. So we're first in spending, and we're like number 30 in terms of the list. Okay, now, other countries, Norway, Sweden, China, different countries, they're at the top, spend much less money than we spend. Wouldn't it be nice if we could turn it around? Wouldn't it be nice if we could be one of the top at least? Wouldn't it be nice? What a difference that would make. And obviously, our system is not working now. But we're going to get our system to work, okay? All right. So here's what we're doing. We're going to have strong borders. We need them. Without borders, we don't have a country. We're going to build a wall, folks, believe me. We're going to build a wall. We're going to build a wall. It's taller and taller every year, doesn't it? Taller and taller. And I won't put you through the exercise. I'll tell you myself, Mexico is going to pay for the wall. Believe me. Believe me, 100%. You know, when I was on the stage not so long ago with some of the very good people, very talented people, some of the Republican candidates, and we were fighting over different things. You know, it's pretty vicious, they say, right? They say it was pretty vicious. They say it was the most vicious yet. Okay, the most vicious. That's not a good thing, but it's the way it is. Some people still haven't recovered, okay? But, well, I think this is more vicious because the press is more dishonest now than I've ever seen it. Really. So I actually think this is more of it. But I'd have people come up to me, good people, politicians, they come up to me, you don't really mean, you know, after the debate, they say, you don't really mean we're going to build a wall, do you? I said, yeah. Then they'd say, how do you do that? Well, we could start with precast plank, right? I'm so good at building. I'm so good at building. You know, we're building the old post office on Pennsylvania Avenue, right? We're 1 year, and we're actually more than that, but that's okay. We're 1 year ahead of schedule, significantly under budget, and the deal is a much more beautiful deal than we even envisioned. Higher quality materials, marbles, everything. And I just left a place, a great place, I won't mention because it's a great city. I love the city. I was there 2 days ago. They have a hospital, a veterans hospital, that's $1.2 billion over budget. Think of it. $1.2 billion over budget. It's not even that big a hospital. I looked at the building. I said, 1.2 billion? They should build it for 1/3 of that, let alone. This is over budget, and that means it's going to be much higher than that. So we're going to put things in place. There are ways of building roads, bridges, hospitals, airports. You don't have to have cost overruns. We have massive, massive cost overruns, and we have to rebuild our country. Our roads are old and tired. I have a friend who's in the trucking business. He's one of the biggest guys in the trucking business. Good guy. And he said, Donald, is there anything we can do about the roads? I said, why? What's the problem? He said, there are so many bad spots. They call them bad spots. I call them potholes, right? He said, there are so many bad spots, and this guy has this incredible equipment, these beautiful trucks, the best. He said, I'm destroying my equipment. We're going down those highways at 60 miles an hour, and we're hitting areas that just destroy these trucks. I say, have you ever seen it like that? He said, I've been doing this business for 40 years. It's never, ever been like this, okay? We are going to shovel ready. He says shovel. Shovel ready. Another Obama beauty. Shovel ready. Let's spend $1 trillion. We're shovel ready. I don't know, has any job been built? You know, shovel ready. Another Obama beauty. But he said that. I have another friend. Okay, I have a lot of friends. I have another friend. He builds plants, right? Not the kind that grow out of the ground, the kind that are like rectangular and all. Big ones. Big plants, the biggest. And he's just about the biggest in the world. And he builds them in the United States and he builds them in other countries. And I saw him not so long ago. I said, how are we doing? He said, I'm doing good. Company's good. I said, well, what's going on? Now, if this guy had to build an apartment, he wouldn't know where to begin, right? But a plant to build, 1 million cars a year or whatever the heck they do, he has no problem with that. That's the greatest. He's a great guy, really talented guy, a brilliant guy and builder. So I said, so how are we doing? He said, not good. I said, how is your business? Great. I said, how does that work? He goes, you got to see what we're building in Mexico. We are building the greatest plants anywhere in the world. We are building plants. It's the 8th wonder of the world, what's going on in Mexico. Now, I'm getting angrier and angrier in the meantime, okay? We are building plants in Mexico. So I said, how are you doing in the United States? Not good. Not good. They're moving out of Michigan. They're moving to Mexico. They're moving out of Jacksonville. Let me tell you, while you're all standing here, and I appreciate you're all standing with seats, but while you're all standing here, as you stand here thinking you have a good job, many of the companies in this area and areas all over our country are negotiating deals with management to move their plants out of the United States. NAFTA was the beginning of a disaster. TPP, which Hillary Clinton considered the gold standard, and then she heard me speaking about it one night, and she said, oh, I'm against it. But she's going to approve it. In fact, the governor of Virginia, Terry McAuliffe, who knows Hillary even better than her own husband knows her. It's true. No, it's true. He knows her better than her husband. This guy, Terry, winked at people and said, don't worry, TPP is going to be approved if she wins the election. They'll make a couple of changes, meaning like a comma. So this agreement is 5,000 pages long. Nobody's read it from our country. And yet these other countries, killers, they've digested every word, every comma, every sentence, every paragraph, everything. They know it, every single word. We don't have anybody that has even looked at it. Remember Obamacare, 2,500 pages. Do you remember Obamacare when nobody read it? Nobody read it. Obamacare will be repealed and replaced, okay? 100%. 100%. Nobody read it. Remember that? Not one politician, nobody read it. And you remember the guy that came out of one of the schools, Harvard, Yale, something? Do you remember the guy's a wise guy? And he thought he was in Friends, but they had the little cell phone camera on. He was among friends, but the friend certainly did a number on him and turned him in, and he was saying it's a whole joke, right? This was the designer of Obamacare. This was the man that sort of created Obamacare. And that's exactly correct. That's Harvey. That's exactly correct. So remember, we tend to forget all these things, but we'll bring them up. But here you have a guy that said it's a phony deal, and yet we keep it. Remember this. On November 1st, new rates are going to come out. They are going to be astronomical. In Texas, going through Blue Cross Blue Shield, they just had an increase of 60%, 60%. New rates are coming out on November 1st. The president wants to have that date delivered after. He wants it to be after, anytime after the election, because it's election defying. The number that you're going to have to pay for your health insurance is going to be such an increase that it is election changing. Now, maybe I don't want the election changing. Maybe I want it to be just the way it is. But it will send ripples through our society. It'll send ripples through our country. We can't let them delay. They want to make that December 1st instead of November 1st. The election is on November 8th. When those numbers come out, it's going to be catastrophic. It's going to fail of its own volition. The country can't afford it, and the people can't afford it. Number one, the country can't. Number two, the people can. It's got the double whammy. We will come out with something that will be so good, so much less expensive, so much better. It will be wonderful. We're going to take care of everybody. We're going to take care of everybody. So, when it comes to trade, we're going to make great deals. Carl Icahn endorsed me. So many people endorsed me. So many great business people. We're going to make great deals. They're going to be fantastic deals. Right now, we use political hacks to make our deals. We are going to make fantastic trade deals. Our jobs are going to start coming back. We're going to start making things again in this country, okay, folks? We're going to make things in Jacksonville. We're going to make things all over Florida. We're going to make things in Ohio and Pennsylvania. We're going to make things in Michigan. We're going to bring our car companies back. We're going to make Apple iPhones in this country. You watch. You watch. You watch. And you know what I'm saying, and I don't have to play games. And we're not giving low-interest loans that nobody needs, and we're not giving tax abatements. We're not giving any. We're going to just say, hey, you want to play games and you want to come into this country, or if you want to devalue your currency and destroy our companies, because that's what's happened. These countries are devaluing their currencies and they're totally destroying our companies and our jobs. And we're not going to let it happen because that's cheating, okay? That's called cheating. That's called cheating. I have friends that are manufacturers. They can't get their product into China. And if they do get it into China, they have a big tax to pay, right? With us, come on in. Come on in. We're the stupid country. Come on in. Come on in, everybody. Rob us blind. Take our jobs. Take our money. Rebuild China and many other places. Not going to happen, folks. It's not going to happen. It's over. It's over. We're not going to have trade deficits of $500 billion a year. We're not going to have a trade deficit overall of $800 billion a year and going up, okay? Almost $800 billion trade deficits, okay? Why does that have to happen? Why does that have to happen? So we're going to turn it around. We're going to turn it around. We're going to bring our jobs back. We're going to bring our manufacturing back. We're going to get you your other jobs. Remember this. One of the reasons that we have these full stadiums, this is beautiful. One of the reasons that we have these full stadiums is because many people in this room do not raise your hand. Do not raise your hand. You've been working harder now than you did 18 years ago. You made more money in real wages 18 years ago than you make today. And now, largely also due to Obamacare, you're working 2 jobs instead of 1. We have part-time workers all over the place. The 45% number, it's a phony number. Because what happens is when people stop looking for a job because they give up, after 4 or 5 months, they can't find it. They stop. They're considered statistically employed, okay? So your real number is close to 20% unemployment. And just take a look. This is all good. We have lots of problems. Our military is depleted. We're going to fix it. Our borders are bad. We're going to fix it. We're going to build that wall, believe me. Believe me. But we have lots of problems. But I'm not filling up stadiums because of problems. I'm filling them up because people don't have jobs and they're not making as much money. How would you like to be working harder? You're older. You're not feeling as good, although I sort of feel as good as ever. I better knock on wood. I think I feel better now than I did 25 years ago. You're inspiring me. You're inspiring me. I have a friend who said to me the other day, because I spoke at, I guess it was 71 minutes, it's a long time, at the convention. The Republican convention, which I actually liked it better. Didn't my kids do a good job? My wife, my kids? And I spoke for 71 minutes, but about 26 of those minutes were like standing ovations, right? It was like these massive standing ovations, and it was really great. And I have a friend who's a very successful guy, he's a strong guy, and he came up and he goes, could I ask you a question? Where do you get the energy? Where do you get the energy to do this? I said, do I have a choice? What am I going to do? Stop and take a rest? And then come back an hour later and finish it up? I said, what do I, but we do. You have energy when you love what you're doing. Now, I've always loved real estate, and I've always had a lot of energy. I've had great stuff. I mean, I built a great, great company. Some of the greatest assets in the world. Some of the greatest real estate assets in the world. But I built this great company, but I've loved doing it. I love doing this. I love seeing these crowds of people pour in. And I want to do, somebody said, why are you doing it? And I say, because seriously, we're going to make America great again. It's going to be easy. It's going to be easy. It's going to be easy. That's why I'm doing it. Believe me, I can think of other places I'd rather be. I can think of other places, but I'm having a good time being with my friends from this country. This country is so incredible. We go to Oklahoma. We had 25,000 people. We had 21,000 people in Dallas. We had 35,000 people in Mobile, Alabama. Mobile, right? We get these massive crowds, and another friend said, how do you do that? How do you speak and you don't even have notes, or you don't even look down at your notes when you have them, and you don't have a teleprompter, right? You don't have a No. And teleprompters are all right for certain types of speeches. When you have a serious policy speech, I guess it's okay, but you don't have a Did you ever see Hillary Clinton? If she speaks in front of 24 people, she's got the teleprompter. Sure. Ladies and gentlemen of Jacksonville, thank you. This is crooked Hillary Clinton. I'm going to rob you blind. I'm going to rob you blind. She always has teleprompters. In fact, I said to my people, she reads the same speech or different speeches, but she reads. And she's always got teleprompters, even in small groups. Now look, let me tell you, if she came here tomorrow, so look at this place, packed, thousands outside, right? We actually put screens outside, thousands outside. So Hillary, if she came here, if she had 500 people, I would be surprised. 500 is not bad, right? So we have 16,000, plus we have a lot of people outside. Look, if she had 500 people, I would be surprised. Now, I don't know. I hear we're leading Florida by a little bit. I don't know why we're not winning by a lot. I don't know. And maybe crowds don't make the difference. Maybe they don't make the difference. But here's the thing. So we're going to make great trade deals. We're going to put up the wall. The wall's going to work. Believe me, the border guards, the border agents, these are incredible people. They endorsed me. 16,500 endorsed me. Sheriff Joe Arpaio, right? Great guy. Sheriff Joe. Tough cookie. Good guy. Actually, good heart. Sheriff Joe endorsed me. He knows more about borders than anybody in the history of the world, I think, right? I think he's been working the border for 50 years or something, he told me. This guy knows borders. He endorsed me. Endorsed me early. National Rifle Association endorsed me. Big endorsement. We get tremendous support from the evangelical community, from the religious community. And we're going to give them back their right of speech. You heard that. Lyndon Johnson in the 1970s put in language that keeps our pastors, our ministers, our priests, our rabbis from speaking. Can't speak because you lose your tax exemption if you do. You can't have, think of it, they put it in. And I said to them in a meeting, I could see there was like love in the room. I had tremendous religious leaders, and they support me, and they like me. I know when people like me and when people don't, believe me. I'm very good at that. But they like me. I won with remember, I was going to lose in South Carolina, big evangelical, and I won big. I was going to lose in different areas. We won. We had such unbelievable support, evangelical support, tremendous evangelical support. But I asked them, we are going to take out the language because basically they're being silenced. And I don't want my minister or my pastor to be silenced. I think they should have a right to speak. And that goes for all religious leaders. So we're going to get that taken out. Very important. And remember this also. That to me is very important. If you're religious, if you're really any evangelical, I say. But if you're Jewish, anybody, we're going to get it taken out. It's very unfair. It's really free speech. I actually pointed to them in the room when they were telling me this, and because they said we can't get involved politically. I said, that's too bad. And I was in a building, one of my buildings in New York, we're in a big conference room. I pointed down on the street. I said, that means that any one of those people on the street have more power than you. Any one of those people. They have more power than you do because they can say what they want to say. It's very unfair. I found it to be very unfair. And you look at religion, what's going on in this country, and it's not fair. And it's having a hard time. And it's having a hard time because they're not allowed to speak. And we're going to give them the right to speak. So you got to go vote. And I have to tell you, the last time, evangelicals did not vote. If they voted, it could have been a much different election. They did not vote. And you know, when you think of the power, think of it as a group of people. Women, 50%. Men, 50%. Religion, probably like 80%, 85%. Think of the power. And it's good power. It's positive power. And we're going to make sure that works. So listen, Supreme Court justices, if you dislike me intensely, if you say, I would never in a million years vote for Donald Trump, you have to. You have no choice. Have no choice. Sorry. Because when Crooked Hillary puts Bernie recommendations on the Supreme Court, we've got ourselves another Venezuela, folks. We're going to have a Venezuela, and it's going to be bad. So you have Justice Scalia, and I put together a list from Heritage, from some of the great groups, right? From some of the great groups. We put together a highly recommended list of high quality, the highest quality judges. And we picked 11. Possibly we'll put 4 more. We'll have 15. I'm going to pick from outside or inside of that group. These are people respected by, really, by all sides. They're respected people. And we're going to put them in. We're going to put them in as Supreme Court judges. Now, before we even start, we have Judge Scalia. So Justice Scalia was a great one. And we would have never, right? We went to the Federalist Society, highly respected people. That's what they do, more than anything, what they do. And they recommended these people, and they're recommending a few more. And we're going to pick from that group, and we're going to have unbelievable justices of the Supreme Court. So important. And honestly, it's one of the most important things that can happen in this election. And it could be that this president, whoever the next president is going to, better be me. Thank you. It could be that our next president, and hopefully it will be me. You have to go out and vote on November 8th or it's not going to be me. But it could be that this president will have 3, 4, and maybe even 5 choices. It could break the all-time record for choices during a 4-term, because that's the way the cards seem to be falling. So it looks like it's going to be a minimum of 3. On your first day, you have 1, because you're replacing Justice Scalia. So So important. You have to do that. You have to do that. So here's what's going to happen. Here's what's going to happen. Our country, thank you. He says you're going to win, but the country doesn't win. So, by the way, I can't stress, it's just so important. You have to go, you have to do it for that reason. You have to do it for that reason. Now, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you for your sacrifice. Thank you. Who said that? Who said that statement? Somebody in there. Very nice. Thank you very much. That's very nice. Well, it is a sacrifice. Look, we're all making sacrifices. We want our country to be great again. Look, we don't win as a country. We have a depleted military. We have great people. We have a depleted military. It's been starved for money. At a time when we just about, in our history, need it the most, right? We have people out there that want to do tremendous harm to us. We have leaders that are incompetent. We have leaders that don't know what they're doing. I'll give you an example. I said about NATO, I said, well, wait a minute, it's obsolete. Everybody laughed. They thought it was funny. Thank you. I said about NATO, it was asked of me by one of the very good commentators, actually, but I said about NATO that it's obsolete. Now, I mean, I have to admit, I'm not a student of NATO. I did deals. They came out of my ears, deals, buildings. That's what I did for years, and did well. I built this great thing. But you know what? I have common sense, and I have business sense. So I said, what do you think of NATO? What do you think? But I know plenty. And they said, what do you think of NATO? I said, it's obsolete. I said, it's obsolete. And why is it obsolete? Because it doesn't cover terrorism. We need terrorism covered. Everybody laughed. They had a good time laughing. Ha, ha, ha. Isn't that funny? It's obsolete. Turned out that like 4 days later, after they stopped laughing, people that were very close to it said, you know what? Trump's right. Trump's right. And then a few weeks later, on the front page of the Wall Street Journal, there was a big story. And it said something to the effect that NATO to open terrorism unit. Right? I said, wow, that's good. That's good. And one of their top people, probably a very good person, one of their top people to be named as its head. Great. I said, wow, they're making some progress. That's good. Now, in the story, they only mentioned me in about a half a sentence, maybe even less. I think about an eighth of a sentence. They said something like, Donald Trump wasn't happy. Okay, that's fine. At least they mentioned me. Normally, they don't even. Then I also said, NATO, they're not paying their bills. I wasn't even sure, but I had read something, and it makes sense. Because I said, why would they pay their bills when nobody else pays us what they owe us? Including, by the way, the United Nations, okay? When was the last time you saw the United Nations make a settlement of some war? You don't see it. It's like a country club, folks. And we're spending a fortune, and it can have a tremendous use. It can be a great thing. I'm not knocking it. But right now, it's like a country club. We pay for a tremendous percentage of it, and we always get the wrong end of it. I almost said it. I didn't want to. We're getting the wrong end of it. So United Nations. But anyway, so then we talk about NATO, and I said, no. NATO, you have 28 countries, and the countries, many of them aren't paying what they're supposed to be paying. And I want them to pay. I want them to pay. If they don't pay, what are we doing? Sort of funny. We're defending them, and they're not paying. Figure that one out. So we're defending, and then I said, no, they got to pay. So the newspapers left that out, Washington Post in particular. They left that out about the payment. They said, Donald Trump wants to get rid of NATO. I don't want to get rid of NATO. But you always have to be prepared to walk. It's possible, okay? Then they said, what happens if one of these countries Take a smaller one that nobody in this room's ever heard of. Gets attacked by Russia. Are you saying you're not going to protect them? I say, well, let me ask you, have they paid? Have they paid? Right? Have they paid? And a lot of these countries are very rich countries. A lot of these countries have good money. But they don't pay. You know why? Because nobody asks. I know store owners like that. They don't ask. They don't get paid. You know what they do? They go up to the president or whoever it is in the country, and they say, we owe the United States millions of dollars. And he goes, did they ask us for the money? No, they haven't. Don't pay it. And this goes, yeah, why not? Why should you pay it? So you have this case where they don't pay. So I said, obsolete. They're working on that. But you need different countries. Because for terrorism, we're talking about a whole different group of countries, okay? The terrorism that we know, meaning radical Islamic terrorism. So we're going to save a fortune. They're going to pay. And if they don't, sorry. Then the people would say, the stupid people back there, they say like this. They go like this. They go, but we have a treaty to protect these countries. We have a treaty. I said, that's right. And we have a treaty where they're supposed to be paying and they're not paying. So we got to get it. Now, it sounds cold. And by the way, the commander in NATO, who I must say, General Flynn has a lot of respect for. The commander of NATO last week said these countries have to pay. I like this guy. I'm going to like this guy. He said they have to pay. And he went in and he met with the countries and he said, hey, listen, we're getting a hard time. But you know what? You have to pay. Because if you don't pay, we can't do it anymore. Because, you know, the United States, we have to pay our bills. You have to pay your bills, too. So here's the story. I don't want to sound cold. Do you know the kind of money that this country could be taking in to solve these massive, massive, massive budget problems that we have as a country? We have Japan. We take care of Japan militarily. They pay, according to a certain general that gave a big talk, they pay 50% the cost of what we spend. So this general said, does Mr. Trump not understand that Japan is paying 50% the cost of what it's costing to defend them? And I get a call from a reporter. Well, Mr. Trump, they're paying 50%. I said, why don't they pay 100%? Why are they paying 100%? Right? Why 50%? So we're defending Germany. We're defending South Korea against the maniac next door. I mean, you know, these are serious, like, defenses. Do you know, and I love Japan, I love the people of Japan, I'm friends with so many of them, but do you know, and by the way, they can't even believe they get away with this stuff. In all fairness, they used to tell me all the time, but once I ran for president, they're saying, no, I think it's a fair deal. You know, they're smart. They want their country to do well. But do you know that if Japan is attacked, we have to get involved probably with World War III, right? If we're attacked, Japan doesn't have to do nothing. They can sit home and watch Sony television, right? It's true. So we protect Germany. We protect numerous countries. We protect Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia has nothing but money. They were making $1 billion a day when the prices were high. Now they're making a lot. We protect them. We have military bases. We pay rent. Now, you tell me, why are we paying rent? We have bases to protect them, we're paying rent. If we weren't protecting Saudi Arabia, they wouldn't be there for 2 months. And you know who wants Saudi Arabia? Iran. We've made Iran powerful. We've made them rich, and we've made them powerful. And that's why they're in Yemen. And when I said, and when some of these people asked the question, why, when they made this horrible deal, one of the worst deals ever made, the Iran deal, why didn't you include Yemen? We're fighting them in Yemen. And the reason they want Yemen is because of the border to Saudi Arabia, because they want the oil from Saudi Arabia. They want Yemen, they want the border, because the border is massive, right along Saudi Arabia. They want to go in. Okay. Now, if we don't protect Saudi Arabia, they're not going to be there very long. But the question is, so why why didn't you work out the deal when you made this horrible deal with Iran that we stop the fighting in Yemen? And you know what Secretary Kerry said? He said, who's really just an offshoot of Hillary, he said very strongly after he recovered from his bicycle race where he fell and broke his leg. That was another beauty. Can you imagine these killers on the other side, these killer negotiators? The Persians are great negotiators. Can you imagine these killers on the other side? Where the hell is the Secretary of State? Oh, he's in a bicycle race. He just fell and broke his leg. He even had the little patches. You know the little patches? You know the patches with different companies on them? And he's laying in the street, our Secretary of State, with a broken leg. And I always say, I promise you, I give you my solemn oath that I will never, ever be in a bicycle race during a major negotiation. I give you my oath. Ever. Ever. So they said, why didn't you, one of the guys right back there, that one right there, why didn't you make a deal with Yemen? And you know what his answer was? It was too complicated. Too complicated. Too complicated. And it took forever to make this deal to start off with. Okay, here's the story, folks. Thank you for coming out. November 8th is very important. You got to get out and you got to vote. You got to vote. Florida is so important. They're going to spend a lot of money on phony ads. And we did it once before. Don't forget, in the primaries, I was hit with every nasty ad. I couldn't breathe. I wanted to see an Ivory soap ad. I wanted to see a Special K ad. I wanted to see any ad. Any ad. But it was all negative Trump ads, and most of them were really false. Some were correct, actually, but most of them were false. But here's what we're going to do. You got to get out on November 8th. You got to get all your friends out. You got to win. Because our country that we love and that we cherish does not win anymore at anything. We're always losing. We're losing with the Iran deal. We're losing with education. We're losing every single thing we lose on. Our military's depleted. Our vets, we love our vets, are not properly taken care of, and we're going to take care of them. We're going to take care of our vets. First time in a long time, and believe me, we are. And folks, we're going to start winning again. We're going to win. We're going to win. With our military, we're going to knock the hell out of ISIS. Okay? We're going to win for our vets. We're going to win for our vets. We're going to win at the borders. We're going to have people come into our country. We're going to have millions of people come in, but they're going to come into our country legally. We're going to win on our border. We're going to win on trade. We're going to bring our jobs back to this country. We're going to start making things again. We're going to be smart. And if people rip us off, they are going to suffer the consequences. It's not going to happen anymore. We're going to protect our Second Amendment. We're going to get rid of Obamacare and replace it. Folks, we're going to win so much. You're going to get so sick and tired of winning. You're going to beg me. You're going to say, Mr. President, sir, please, please, we can't take it. You're winning too much. We don't want to win this much in Jacksonville. We liked it the way it was when we weren't winning. No, I don't think so. We're going to win again, folks. You're going to be so proud of your country. You're going to be so proud of your president. We're going to win, win, win. Incredible. Folks, we're going to put America first. We're going to make our country safe again. We're going to make our country great again, as sure as you're standing here. Thank you. Thank you, Jacksonville. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you, Florida. November 8th, get out